The moment no one expected. Doctors said the alien girl was finished. Her strange heart was slowing down. Her alien brain signals were fading. And every machine in the medical bay of Aurora Deep Space Station agreed with the same cold answer. She would not survive the night. But one human refused to accept that answer. While the doctors shut down their equipment and prepared reports, Dr. Elias Ward simply pulled a chair beside the bed, took the alien girl's hand, and stayed. And in a galaxy full of powerful civilizations, no one realized that this small act of stubborn human kindness was about to change everything. A station on the edge of the galaxy. Aurora Station floated alone near the edge of explored space. It was not a military fortress or a busy trade hub. It was simply a research outpost, where scientists studied strange signals from deep space. Humans, aliens, and AI worked there together. But tonight the station felt quiet. Too quiet. Inside the medical bay, glowing blue lights surrounded a single patient. She was small. Fragile. Her skin shimmered faintly like silver dust under starlight. Thin lines of glowing energy moved slowly beneath her skin, like tiny rivers of light. Her species was called the Illyri, a peaceful alien civilization known for their intelligence and mysterious energy-based biology. And right now, one of them was dying. A crash no one could explain. 3 days earlier, the girl's ship had crashed near Aurora Station. It was barely recognizable when the rescue team found it. Metal twisted like paper. Energy cores burned out. Navigation systems completely destroyed. The girl was the only survivor. No weapons. No cargo. Just a broken ship and a dying alien child. The medical team's conclusion. The doctors had tried everything. Alien medicine. Human medicine. Even experimental hybrid treatments. But nothing worked. Her body simply rejected every attempt to save her. Her cells were collapsing like a fading star. Dr. Hara Lin, the station's chief medical officer, finally sighed and removed her gloves. "We've reached the limit," she said quietly. "Her biological structure is too different. Her systems are shutting down." A young technician looked at the monitors again. "But there must be something else we can try." Hara shook her head. "We've tried everything." The machines continued their slow beeping. Everyone in the room understood the meaning of that sound. Time was running out. The only person who stayed. One by one, the doctors left. Reports needed to be written. Protocols needed to be followed. But one person didn't move. Dr. Elias Ward remained beside the bed. He was not a famous scientist. Not a brilliant xenobiologist. He was simply a systems engineer who fixed broken equipment on the station. Yet he watched the alien girl with quiet determination. Hara stopped near the door. "Elias, you should go get some rest." He didn't look up. "She's alone." Hara sighed. "She isn't conscious." Elias finally answered. "Maybe. But that doesn't mean she should die alone." For a moment the room was silent. Then Hara left. The door closed softly. Now the room contained only 3 things. A dying alien. A stubborn human. And a quiet station watching the stars. Talking to someone who couldn't answer. Elias pulled a chair beside the bed. "Well," he said quietly, "this is awkward." The alien girl didn't move. Her breathing remained slow and shallow. Still, Elias continued. "My name is Elias. I fix broken machines around here." He looked at the strange glowing lines under her skin. "Unfortunately, I'm not great at fixing alien biology." He paused. Then smiled slightly. "But humans are good at improvising." The strange human idea. Most doctors use medicine. Humans sometimes try something different. Elias placed a small device on the table beside the bed. It was not medical equipment. It was a sound projector. Soft music began to fill the room. Gentle sounds of ocean waves. Wind through forests. Birds singing. Sounds from Earth. The alien girl didn't react. But Elias kept the device running. "You probably don't know what this is," he said. But on Earth, these sounds help people relax. He leaned back in the chair. Worth a try, right? The first impossible change. Hours passed. Nothing happened. The machines continued their slow rhythm. Then suddenly, beep. Elias looked up. One of the monitors changed. Just slightly. The alien girl's brain activity moved upward by 0.02%. He stared at the screen. That shouldn't happen. The room remained quiet. Then her fingers moved. Just a little. Barely noticeable. But Elias saw it. He leaned forward. Hey, did you just move? The machines beeped again. Another tiny change. Another increase in neural activity. Elias laughed softly. Well, I'll be. Something the doctors missed. Across the station, the monitoring AI suddenly activated an alert. Unusual neural recovery detected. Back in the medical bay, Elias looked at the alien girl with amazement. He gently held her hand again. You're still fighting, her? Her fingers curled slightly around his. Not fully, but enough. Enough to prove one thing. The doctors had been wrong. The first words. Minutes later, the alien girl's eyes slowly opened. Silver. Bright. Confused. She looked directly at the human beside her. Elias froze. Well, hello there. Her voice came out weak. Strange. Barely understandable. But the words were clear. Human. Elias blinked in surprise. That's me. Her eyes studied him carefully. Then she whispered something else. A single sentence that made Elias's heart stop. Your species is not supposed to be here. The truth no one expected. Alarms suddenly echoed across Aurora Station. Unknown ships had appeared at the edge of the system. Dozens of them. Massive. Alien warships. And they were heading straight toward the station. Back in the medical bay, the alien girl gripped Elias's hand weakly. You must listen. Her voice trembled. They are coming, for me. And Elias suddenly realized something terrifying. Saving her life might have just started a war. A warning that changed everything. The moment the alien girl spoke those words, the entire station shook slightly. Not from an explosion. Not from an attack. But from something far more terrifying. A fleet had entered the system. On the main command deck of Aurora Station, warning lights turned red. Unknown vessels detected, a navigator shouted. How many? The station commander asked. The answer made the room go silent. 27. No, wait, 32 ships. Another officer leaned over the sensor screen. These aren't small ships. These are war cruisers. Aurora Station was a research station. It had no real weapons. No defensive fleet. And now 32 alien warships were approaching it. Panic on Aurora Station. Commander Sophia Raines stared at the tactical display. The alien ships moved in perfect formation. Their hulls glowed with strange blue energy. These aren't pirates, she said quietly. Pirates don't travel like this. A technician looked nervous. They're broadcasting something. Put it on speakers. The room filled with a deep mechanical voice translated by the station's AI. This is the Dominion of Ka Thal. Return the Ileri subject immediately. Failure to comply will result in the destruction of this station. The command deck exploded with noise. They are threatening us. How do they know she's here? Commander Raines raised a hand. Silence. Her mind was already racing. They didn't just know the alien girl was here. They wanted only her. The human who refused to hand her over. Back in the medical bay, Elias Ward had just finished explaining the situation. The alien girl listened carefully. Her silver eyes moved slowly as if she was thinking through something much larger than the room. My name, she said softly, is Lyra. Elias smiled. Nice to meet you, Lyra. I wish it were under less apocalyptic circumstances. She almost smiled back. Almost. They cannot take me, she whispered. Why? Elias asked. Lyra looked toward the window where distant stars shined. Because they will not just take me. They will take Earth. Elias blinked. I'm sorry, what? The secret inside her mind. Lyra closed her eyes for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice carried quiet fear. My species, the Ileri, discovered something. A way to travel between stars instantly. Elias straightened. That's impossible. Lyra shook her head weakly. No. It is real. A living navigation system, grown inside a mind. Elias slowly realized what she meant. You. Lyra nodded. My brain holds the map. The map to every fast path between galaxies. Elias leaned back in shock. Let me guess, the Cathal want that. Lyra's voice became very quiet. They want to control the universe. Humanity's strange advantage. A few minutes later, Commander Rains arrived in the medical bay. Her face was serious. We received their demand, she said. They want the girl. Elias crossed his arms. And if we refuse? Rains answered immediately. They destroy the station. Lyra watched the two humans carefully. You should give me to them, she said softly. It will save your people. Elias shook his head instantly. No. Commander Rains raised an eyebrow. That was fast. Elias shrugged. I'm human. We specialize in bad ideas. Lyra looked confused. You cannot defeat them. Rains smiled slightly. Probably not. Elias added something else. But we don't have to defeat them. Both women looked at him. Elias leaned forward. We just have to outsmart them. The crazy human plan. An hour later, the command deck gathered around a holographic display. Elias pointed at the alien fleet. These ships rely on advanced navigation systems, he explained. They use stable quantum pathways. Rains nodded. That's standard for most advanced civilizations. Elias grinned. Exactly. Lyra looked curious. And your idea? Elias tapped the display. Humans are terrible at perfect systems. Which means we are very good at chaos. The officers looked confused. Elias explained. What if we scramble the navigation field? Turn the entire system into a gravitational puzzle. Rains frowned. That would trap them. Exactly. Lyra slowly understood. You want to make space unpredictable. Elias pointed at her. See? She gets it. The fleet begins the attack. Before they could finish the plan, alarms screamed again. Enemy fleet accelerating. They're moving into attack formation. Commander Rains looked at the timer. They're not waiting. The first alien cruiser moved closer. Its massive weapons glowed with energy. A voice echoed through the station again. Final warning. Return the Ileri subject. Or be destroyed. On the command deck, everyone looked at Commander Rains. She only asked one question. Elias, can your chaos plan work? Elias scratched his head. Honestly. Yes. Maybe. Rains smiled. Good enough. Humans pressed the button. Aurora Station's experimental gravity engines powered up. These engines were meant for research, not combat. Energy surged through the station. Outside, space began to twist slightly. Invisible waves moved across the star system. The Cathal fleet immediately noticed. Unknown gravitational disturbance detected, their sensors warned. Inside the alien flagship, commanders watched their navigation screens flicker. Adjust course. But the course wouldn't adjust. Space itself had become unstable. Human technology had turned the entire battlefield into a cosmic maze. Ships began drifting off course. Warp drives misaligned. Navigation systems failed. Chaos spread through the fleet. The moment the aliens realized. Inside the Ka-Thal flagship, the alien commander stared at the tactical display. This is impossible. But it wasn't. Because humans had done something no advanced civilization expected. They broke the rules. Aurora Station's gravity engines were not designed for combat. Not even close. But Elias had pushed them beyond their limits. The entire star system now behaved like a shifting puzzle. A puzzle only one person could solve. Lyra. The unexpected human choice. Back in the medical bay, Lyra watched the stars shift outside the window. You made the system unstable, she said. Elias nodded proudly. Yep. Lyra looked worried. That also traps you here. Elias shrugged. Yeah. You could all die. Also true. Lyra stared at him. Why risk everything for me? Elias thought for a moment. Then he gave the most human answer possible. Because someone needed help. Lyra slowly smiled. For the first time. And at that moment, the alien fleet realized something terrifying. The humans protecting Lyra were not the strongest species in the galaxy. But they were the most unpredictable. And that made them far more dangerous. The war was just beginning. On the command deck, Commander Rains watched the chaotic battlefield. Fleet is disorganized, an officer said. But they're adapting. The alien ships were slowly learning to move through the unstable space. They would break through soon. Rains crossed her arms. So the question is, how long can we hold them? Across the station, Elias and Lyra looked at the stars together. And neither of them realized that the next move would change the entire galaxy forever. When the fleet regained control. The chaos in the star system did not last forever. The Ka-Thal fleet was powerful, ancient, and disciplined. Their commanders quickly realized what the humans had done. Within minutes their ships began adjusting their engines, slowly learning to navigate the unstable gravitational waves. On Aurora Station's command deck, the tactical display changed. They're correcting their courses, an officer said nervously. Commander Sophia Rains stared at the screen. Red icons representing enemy ships began stabilizing one by one. How long until they reach firing range? 6 minutes. Silence spread across the room. 6 minutes was not enough time to fight. Not enough time to escape. But maybe, just enough time for a human idea. A dangerous new plan. In the medical bay, Elias Ward paced back and forth like a scientist thinking too fast for his own safety. Lyra watched him carefully. You have another idea, she said. Elias stopped. I might. That tone worries me. That tone worries me too, Elias admitted. Lyra sat up slightly, her strength slowly returning. What are you thinking? Elias pointed toward the window where the distant alien fleet moved like dark shadows across the stars. You said your mind holds the map of the galaxy. Lyra nodded. Yes. The fastest routes between stars. Yes. Elias took a deep breath. What if we give them a wrong map? Lyra frowned. That would not fool them for long. Elias grinned. I don't need it to fool them forever. Just long enough. Humans and the power of improvisation. Commander Rains arrived moments later as Elias explained his idea. If Lyra broadcasts a navigation signal, Elias said, their fleet will assume it's authentic. The commander crossed her arms. And then? Elias pointed at the unstable star system outside. We lure them into the worst part of the gravitational chaos. Lyra understood immediately. You want them to follow me. Elias nodded. Exactly. Commander Rains looked between them. That could destroy their fleet. Lyra added quietly. It could also destroy us. The room went silent. Elias shrugged slightly. Yeah, that's the risky part. The alien fleet moves in. On the main display, the Ka-Thal fleet finally reached firing position. Their largest cruiser powered up its weapons. A bright beam of energy formed along its hull. Target locked on Aurora Station, the sensor officer said. 30 seconds until firing. Commander Rains looked toward the medical bay. Ward, if you're going to do something crazy, now would be the time. Lyra's choice. In the medical bay, Lyra slowly stood for the first time. Her legs trembled, but she remained upright. Elias looked impressed. That's either bravery or extremely bad timing. Lyra placed her hand on the communication console. If I transmit the navigation signal, she said, they will chase me. Elias nodded. They think you're their prize. Lyra looked directly at him. And you will risk your entire station for someone you met 3 days ago. Elias smiled. Humans do that sometimes. Lyra studied his face. Then she activated the transmitter. The signal that changed the battle. A pulse of alien energy spread from Aurora Station. Across the system, every Ka-Thal ship detected it instantly. Inside their flagship, alarms sounded. The Ileri subject is transmitting. Tracking signal now. The alien commander's eyes narrowed. She is attempting to escape. He gave the order immediately. All ships pursue. 32 alien warships changed direction at once. They accelerated directly toward the source of the signal. Aurora Station. Exactly as Elias planned. Into the trap. On Aurora's command deck, officers watched the approaching fleet. They're taking the bait, someone whispered. The alien ships moved deeper into the unstable gravitational field. Space twisted more violently there. Navigation became dangerous. But the Ka-Thal commanders trusted their advanced systems. And that trust was their mistake. Elias leaned over the controls. Ready to trigger Phase 2. Commander Rains nodded. Do it. Humanity breaks the rules again. Aurora Station's gravity engines activated at full power. Not the safe level. Not the recommended level. The impossible level. Energy surged through the station. Outside, the star system erupted into chaotic gravitational waves. Invisible currents smashed into the alien fleet. Ships suddenly lost control. Warp drives misaligned. Navigation computers failed completely. 2 cruisers collided. Another spun wildly out of formation. Inside the Ka-Thal flagship, panic spread. Navigation failure. Gravitational storm increasing. This system is unstable. The alien commander slammed his clawed hand onto the console. Retreat. But it was too late. The human advantage. Aurora Station drifted safely through the chaos. Because Elias had programmed one special exception. Human ships. Before triggering the gravity storm, he had secretly embedded a human navigation pattern into the system. A messy, unpredictable route only human pilots would understand. The Ka-Thal fleet could not follow it. Their perfect machines demanded perfect calculations. Human navigation relied on something different. Instinct. Guesswork. Improvisation. 3 things humans had practiced for centuries. The fleet falls apart. Within minutes, the alien fleet was completely disorganized. Ships scattered across the system. Some forced to shut down their engines. Others trapped in unstable gravitational loops. None of them able to reach Aurora Station. On the command deck, silence filled the room as everyone realized what had happened. They had survived. Not through strength. Not through superior technology, but through creativity. The alien commander's realization. Inside the damaged Ka-Thal flagship, the alien commander stared at the tactical display. 32 warships. Defeated. By a small research station. He spoke slowly. Humans. The word carried something new. Not anger. Respect. Primitive, but dangerous. He opened a communication channel. The message heard across the galaxy. Aurora Station received the signal moments later. Commander Rains answered. The alien commander appeared on the screen. We underestimated your species. Rains smiled slightly. Most people do. The alien commander continued. We will withdraw. But understand this, humans. You have now revealed something to the galaxy. Rains raised an eyebrow. And what's that? The alien commander answered quietly. That humans are not the strongest species. He paused. But you may be the most unpredictable. The transmission ended. The alien fleet slowly retreated from the system. The girl who changed the future. Hours later, the station finally returned to normal. Lyra stood beside the observation window. Stars filled the darkness beyond. Elias joined her. So, he said. Crazy first week, huh? Lyra laughed softly. A little. She looked at him. You saved me. Elias shrugged. Team effort. Lyra's silver eyes glowed slightly. You also saved something else. What? Lyra gestured toward the stars. Your reputation. Elias looked confused. What do you mean? Lyra smiled. Every alien civilization just learned something important. And what's that? Lyra answered quietly. That humans are the species you never want to underestimate. The beginning of something new. Days later, Lyra prepared to leave Aurora Station. Her people had arrived to take her home. Before boarding her ship, she turned to Elias. My species wishes to thank humanity. Elias scratched his head. For what? Lyra smiled. For reminding the galaxy that strength is not always power. Sometimes. She looked back at the stars. It is kindness. Elias watched her ship disappear into the darkness of space. And somewhere across the galaxy, dozens of alien civilizations updated their records. A new warning appeared in their databases. Humans. Unpredictable. Creative. Dangerously compassionate.